When Everything Feels Broken by William Gomes. Right now, wherever you are listening to this, I want you to know something. You are not listening to this by accident. People do not usually look for words like these when life is going well. They look for them when something has cracked, when something has fallen apart quietly, when the old ways of coping are no longer working, when getting through the day feels heavier than it used to. Maybe you are exhausted in a way sleep does not fix. Maybe you feel lonely even when you are surrounded by people. Maybe you are carrying worries you do not know how to explain. Maybe you feel ashamed for struggling when others seem to manage. Maybe you feel numb. Maybe you feel frightened. Maybe you feel everything at once. If any of that is true for you, I want you to hear this clearly. There's nothing wrong with you. There is nothing weak about you. There is nothing broken about your character. You are responding to too much for too long. You are responding to pressure, loss, disappointment, uncertainty, responsibility, and emotional strain. And your system is tired. Anyone would be. I'm not speaking to you from a place of perfection. I'm speaking to you from experience. I have sat in rooms where everything felt hopeless. I have stared at ceilings in the dark, wondering how I would carry on. I have felt the quiet panic of not knowing what comes next. I have felt the shame of feeling overwhelmed. I have felt the weight of responsibility pressing on my chest. I have felt small. I have felt lost. I have felt afraid. And I have learned something important. Life does not usually fall apart all at once. It unravels slowly. It loosens its grip gently at first. A little less energy, a little less joy, a little more worry, a little more tension, a little more self doubt, until one day you realize you are no longer standing on solid ground. You are just trying to keep going. You are surviving, and survival is hard work. If you are here listening to me, there is a good chance you are in survival mode. You wake up, you do what you have to do, you meet your obligations, you show up, you keep moving. But in inside, something feels fragile, like a glass that has been cracked but not yet shattered. You wonder how long you can keep holding it together. You wonder if anyone really sees how hard this is for you. You wonder if things will ever feel lighter again. You wonder if this is just how life is now. I want to sit with you here, not to fix you, not to lecture you, not to tell you to think positive, but to be honest with you, to walk alongside you for a while, to remind you of things you may have forgotten, to help you breathe again, to help you trust yourself again, to help you feel human again. You do not need to become someone else to deserve peace. You do not need to be stronger. You do not need to be tougher. You do not need to be more productive. You do not need to be more grateful. You do not need to try harder. You need permission to be where you are. You need kindness. You need rest. You need honesty. You need space to feel what you feel without judging yourself. So let us start here. Let us start by telling the truth, not the polished truth, not the version you tell other people, the real truth, the one you whisper to yourself when nobody is listening. Maybe the truth is that you are tired, not just physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, tired of worrying, tired of pretending, tired of being responsible, tired of holding everything together, tired of being strong, tired of being the one who copes. Maybe the truth is that you feel like you are failing, even though you are doing your best. Maybe the truth is that you feel behind, left out, overlooked, uncertain. Maybe the truth is that you do not recognize yourself anymore. You remember being more hopeful, more confident, more relaxed, and you wonder where that person went. Let me tell you something. That person did not disappear. They are resting, they are protecting themselves, they are waiting for it to be safe again. When life becomes overwhelming, we do not become weaker. We become cautious, we become guarded, we become careful, we conserve energy, we pull inward. It is a natural response, like an animal curling up in bad weather. You have been in bad weather for longer than you admit. Storms of expectation, storms of responsibility, storms of uncertainty, storms of loss, storms of disappointment, storms of fear. No wonder you are tired. No wonder you feel fragile. No wonder you feel unsure. You are not failing. You are surviving a difficult season, and seasons change, even the longest ones. I want you just for a moment to notice your breathing. Do not change it. Just notice it. In, out, in, out. You are here. You are alive. You are listening. That means something inside you still cares, still hopes, still wants to heal, still wants to feel better, still wants to find a way through. That part of you is strong, even if you feel weak. That part of you is brave, even if you feel scared. That part of you is wise, even if you feel confused. You have not given up. You are still here. That matters. Now let us talk about what it feels like when things really start to fall apart. Not dramatically, not with explosions and shouting, but quietly, slowly, and silently. It often begins with a sense of strain. You feel like you are holding too many things in your hands: work, family, money, health, relationships, expectation, dreams, responsibilities, worries. You try to juggle them, you try to be competent, you try to be reliable, you try to be good, but your hands are full, and no one teaches us how to put things down. So we keep holding until our arms ache, until our shoulders tighten, until our breath becomes shallow, until our sleep becomes restless, until our thoughts become noisy, until our patience wears thin, until small things feel huge, until everything feels heavy. You might notice you are more irritable, more sensitive, more withdrawn, more anxious, more forgetful, more flat, more tense, more emotional, more distant, more overwhelmed. You might just start thinking things like, I should be coping better. Other people manage. Why am I like this? I'm letting everyone down. I'm a burden. I'm weak. I'm failing. Those thoughts feel real, but they are not kind and they are not true. They are symptoms of exhaustion. They are signs that you have been running on empty. When your phone battery is low, it does not mean the phone is bad. It means it needs charging. When you are low, it does not mean you are broken. It means you need care. But many of us were never taught how to care for ourselves. We were taught how to perform, how to achieve, how to please, how to endure, how to cope, how to keep going. We were not taught how to stop, how to listen, how to soften, how to rest, how to ask for help, how to say, this is too much. So when life becomes too much, we blame ourselves. We think it is a personal failure. It is not. It is a human limit, and you have reached it. That is not shameful. That is honest. Sometimes things fall apart because something in us is asking to change. Not in a dramatic way, in a quiet way, a whisper, a feeling, a sense that this way of living is not sustainable, that something has to shift, that you cannot keep carrying everything alone, that you cannot keep ignoring your own needs, that you cannot keep sacrificing yourself indefinitely. The collapse is not punishment, it is communication. It is your life saying, please listen, please slow down, please take care, please stop hurting yourself by pretending you are fine. You have probably been brave for a long time. You have probably been strong for a long time. You have probably been responsible for a long time. You have probably been holding things together for a long time. And now you are tired. That is not weakness. That is honesty. That is courage. That is awareness. It takes courage to admit I cannot do this alone anymore. It takes courage to admit I am struggling. It takes courage to admit I need help. It takes courage to admit I am not okay. You are courageous, even if you do not feel like it. You are courageous because you are listening. You are courageous because you are facing this. You are courageous because you have not numbed yourself completely. You are courageous because you still care. There is something many of us learn very early in life, that if we stay in control, we will be safe. If we plan carefully, if we think ahead, if we work hard, if we prepare, if we stay alert, if we stay responsible, then maybe nothing terrible will happen. So we learn to manage. We manage our time, we manage our emotions, we manage our image, we manage our relationships, we manage our fears, we manage our hopes, we manage our expectations, we manage ourselves, and for a while it works. It gives us a sense of stability, a sense of predictability, a sense of order. But life does not respect our plans. It does not follow our schedules. It does not consult our anxieties. It moves in its own way. People change, jobs change, health changes, circumstances change, dreams change, bodies change, children grow, parents age, relationships shift, money comes and goes, nothing stays fixed. And when you have built your sense of safety on control, change feels terrifying. It feels like failure. It feels like danger. It feels like collapse. You think, if I had done better, this would not have happened. If I had planned more carefully, I would not be here. If I had been stronger, smarter, calmer, this would be different. You start replaying the past, looking for mistakes, looking for prove that it is your fault. That self blaming voice can be relentless. It tells you, you should have known, you should have seen this coming, you should have done more, you should have been different, you ruined everything. That voice sounds convincing, but it is not wise, it is frightened. Blame is what fear uses to feel in control. If something is your fault, then at least it makes sense. If something is your fault, then maybe you can prevent it next time. So the mind looks for someone to blame. Often it chooses you. But listen carefully. Not everything that happens in your life is your responsibility. Not everything that goes wrong is your failure. Not every loss is something you could have prevented. Not every ending is something you caused. Some things happen because life is complex, because other people have choices, because circumstances change, because bodies break down, because systems fail, because chance exists, because uncertainty is real. You did not cause everything. You are not all powerful. You are human. And being human means you live in a world that cannot be controlled completely. Letting go of control does not mean becoming careless. It means becoming realistic. It means recognizing what is in your hands and what is not. You can control your effort. You can control your honesty. You can control your kindness. You can control your choices today. You cannot control outcomes. You cannot control other people. You cannot control the future. You cannot control chance. You cannot control time. When you try to control what cannot be controlled, You exhaust yourself. You tense, you worry, you obsess, you overthink, you replay, you catastrophize, you try to prepare for every possible disaster, and still life surprises you. Still things happen. Still you are caught off guard. Control promises safety, but often delivers anxiety. There is another way to live, not careless, not passive, but grounded, present, flexible, resilient. It begins with a quiet sentence: I will do my best and I will accept what I cannot change. That is not giving up. That is wisdom. That is strength. That is maturity. There comes a moment after enough struggle, after enough exhaustion, after enough confusion, when something in you begins to soften. Not because everything is fixed, not because life has suddenly become easy, but because you are tired of fighting yourself. You are tired of blaming yourself. You are tired of pretending. You are tired of carrying everything alone. And in that tiredness, there is often a quiet opening, a small space, a pause, a breath. You begin to realize that maybe you do not have to be at war with your own life. Maybe you do not have to judge every feeling. Maybe you do not have to analyze every mistake. Maybe you do not have to solve everything today. Maybe you are allowed to begin again, not in a dramatic way, not by reinventing yourself overnight, not by becoming someone else, but by returning to yourself, by remembering what matters, by choosing gentleness, by choosing honesty, by choosing presence. Beginning again often looks very small. It looks like drinking a glass of water when you are dehydrated. It looks like going to bed when you are tired. It looks like saying no when you are overwhelmed. It looks like asking for help when you are struggling. It looks like taking a walk when your thoughts are too loud. It looks like breathing when you're anxious. It looks like telling the truth when you are scared. It looks like forgiving yourself for being human. The small acts rebuild you quietly, gradually, without drama, without applause, like bricks laid one by one. You may not see progress at first. You may feel impatient. You may think, this is too slow. Nothing is changing. But healing is slow because you are not a machine. You are a living person. You are rebuilding trust with yourself. You are learning to feel safe in your own body again. You are learning to listen to your own needs. You are learning to respect your own limits. So you are learning to believe that you matter. That takes time and it is worth it. When everything falls apart, many people think it means their life is over. But often it means their old life is over. The life where they ignored themselves, the life where they sacrificed too much, the life where they carried everything alone, the life where they stayed silent, the life where they lived on expectations, the life where they believed they had to earn rest, the life where they believed they had to prove their worth. That life has ended, and that is painful. Grief is real. You may grieve the person you used to be. You may grieve the dreams that changed. You may grieve the security you lost. You may grieve relationships that shifted. You may grieve time you cannot get back. That grief deserves respect. Do not rush it. Do not minimize it. Do not compare it. Let yourself feel it. Grief is not weakness. It is love with nowhere to go. And when you honor it, it slowly transforms into wisdom, into compassion, into depth, into humility, into understanding, into strength. You will not be the same person after this. That is true. But different does not mean worse. Often it means more real, more grounded, more patient, more honest, more empathetic, more courageous, more awake. People who have suffered deeply often carry a quiet dignity. They know what matters. They do not waste energy on trivial things. They listen better, they love more carefully, they judge less, they appreciate small moments, they understand fragility, they understand resilience. You are becoming one of those people, even if you do not see it yet. Your pain is shaping you not into something broken, into something deep, into something strong, into something compassionate, into something wise. I know there are days when you still feel lost, days when doubt returns, days when fear whispers, days when sadness visits, days when exhaustion takes over. That does not mean you are failing, it means you are human. Healing is not a straight line. It moves forward, it moves back, it pauses, it circles, and still over time, it carries you somewhere better. Be patient with your process. Do not rush yourself. Do not compare your journey. Do not demand perfection. You are learning, you are growing, you are becoming, and that is enough. Let me remind you of something important. You are not defined by your worst days. You are not defined by your mistakes. You are not defined by your losses. You are not defined by what went wrong. You are defined by your courage to continue, by your willingness to reflect, by your capacity to care, by your honesty with yourself, by your determination to live well, by your desire to heal, by your kindness, by your integrity, by your heart. Those things are still alive in you, even now, especially now. One day you will look back on this time and you will realize that it changed you, not in the way you wanted, but in the way you needed. It taught you to slow down, to listen, to value yourself, to set boundaries, to ask for help, to rest, to be honest, to let go, to trust, to love more wisely, to live more gently. You will see that this was not the end. It was a turning point, a threshold, a beginning. You crossed something, you survived something, you learned something, you became something, and you did it quietly, bravely, without applause, without certainty, without guarantees, just by staying, by breathing, by trying again, by not giving up. I'm proud of you, even if no one has said that to you. I'm proud of you for staying alive, for staying open, for staying kind, for staying honest, for staying human, for staying. You deserve peace. You deserve rest. You deserve joy. You deserve safety. You deserve love. You deserve dignity. You deserve hope. Not because you are perfect, but because you exist, because you feel, because you care, because you try, because you matter. As you finish listening to this, I want you to take one more breath. Slowly, gently, in, out. Feel your body, feel your presence. Feel that you are here, that you are alive, that you are still part of this world, that your story is still unfolding, that there are still chapters ahead, that there is still meaning to be found, that there is still love to give and receive, that there is still light ahead, even if you cannot see it yet, even if the road feels dark, even if your steps feel uncertain. You're walking, you're breathing, you're living. That is enough for today. Be gentle with yourself. Be patient with your process. Be proud of your courage. And remember this, you are not broken. You are becoming, written and spoken by William Gomes.